With great signs and wonders, God freed the children of Israel from their bondage in Egypt, and through an eternal covenant he established them as a nation. Israel's mission is and has always been to be a light to the nations, pointing them to the one true God and the truth of his Torah. Yet sadly, throughout history, people and nations have tried to extinguish that light. Our story begins in the year 170 BCE, when the Syrian Greek ruler Antiochus took control of the land of Israel and subjugated its people. Antiochus hated the Jewish people because they worshiped the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and maintained their Torah-observant culture. In a furious outrage, he overthrew the high priesthood in Jerusalem and plundered and defiled the holy temple, turning it into a house of idolatry. Despite this terrible loss, most Jewish people continued to live a life devoted to the covenant and walked in obedience to God's Torah. But this only intensified his hatred of the Jews.
Let it be proclaimed throughout my kingdom that henceforth any Jew caught observing the Sabbath, studying or teaching their Torah will be severely punished.
By order of the king, Sabbath observance and any reading and or teaching of Torah is strictly prohibited.
Oh no.
Hey, you kids! I better not see you reading or talking about the Torah. If I do, you will feel the sting of my whip and see the inside of the king's dungeon.
Oh no, what are we gonna do?
As the days went on, the punishment for breaking the king's laws grew increasingly severe.
What are you doing?
We would rather live as pagans than die as Jews.
Brothers, please remember the covenant and have faith, for God will surely deliver us.
Our minds are made up. You'll embrace the Greek ways too if you know what's good for you.
Though most Jews remained loyal to God, even to the point of death, sadly, some chose to turn their backs on the God of Israel because they wanted to be accepted into the Greek culture and live free from persecution.
Hey, what are you Jews doing?
We are just playing dreidel, hoping to win a few extra coins. Is that also against the king's law?
No, but if I didn't know better, I would think you are studying your Torah.
My lord, despite your laws, most of the Jews still reject our culture and refuse to worship any gods but their own.
Let it be proclaimed throughout my kingdom that henceforth any Jew caught observing the Sabbath, studying, or teaching their Torah will be severely punished.
It will be done as you command.
By order of the king, everyone is to assemble to prove his loyalty.
Oh God in heaven, please have mercy on your people.
People of this town, for too long the king has given you an opportunity to adopt our ways, to serve our gods, and be an active member in our kingdom. But you filthy Jews continue to hold on to your ancient religion. Well, enough is enough. You have a new God now, your king, and you will bow to his image or die. Some Jews did bow down, but most refused. Suddenly, an old priest of the village named Mattatyahu grabbed his sword and killed one of the guards, while his sons and friends attacked the rest.
Let's get out of here!
Then, in an act of defiance, they destroyed the image of Antiochus and declared war on the Syrian army. Mattatyahu and his followers praised God for this small victory, and then left the village to the hills of Judea. News traveled fast, and soon Mattatyahu had thousands upon thousands of Jews in open revolt against the evil king. Mattatyahu's death, his son Judah Maccabee continued to lead the Jewish people in battle against the king.
Let's get out of here! The Jews are too powerful!
After a series of battles, the war was won. The Maccabees had liberated Jerusalem and the temple. They entered the temple and cleared it of all the idols placed by the Syrian Vandals. Judah and his followers built a new altar, which he rededicated on the 25th day of the month of Kislev in the year 139 BCE. Since the golden menorah had been stolen by the Syrian army, the Maccabees had to make a new one. And when they went to light it, they could only find one small vial of pure olive oil bearing the seal of the high priest. It was sufficient to light only for one day. By a miracle of God, it continued to burn 8 days till new oil could be prepared. This miracle proved that God had again taken his people under his protection. In memory of this great victory and the miracle of the oil, our sages appointed these 8 days for an annual Thanksgiving celebration. And now, as we enjoy the festive flickering flames of our Hanukkahs and see the growing light with each successive night, let us remember the faith of the Maccabees. And may they inspire us to live our lives dedicated to the God of Israel, no matter the obstacle.